to my channel, subscribe if you'd like. So today we're going to talk about school refusal, and under that whole banner, I'm talking about the children who won't get in the car over and over and over again, and you know who you are if you're a mother or a father of one of those children, all the way down to the children who just mention that they're not happy with school even on one day or throw a sickie. All of those reasons come under the banner of why our children are showing up like that, to bring an issue of the school system towards us mothers, particularly, to look at. So today I'm going to talk about it from each person in the family unit's angle, because as one child brings in the issue of school to the family, it's actually an angle for each person to be looking at. And I want to draw your attention to that so that you can see it's big work. I cover this in my courses. I'm writing it in my book, mentorships, whatnot. When something like that comes up, it's actually the tip of the weed. It's like the petal of the flower that goes all the way to the bottom of the weed, which is what wants to be seen around the issues of school. But not only that, just the issues of many things that go on in the school system that can also even be going on in the family unit. So let's look at it. So when your child comes to you and says, I don't want to go to school, my angle is heart-to-heart parenting, and that is really about mother and child being able to feel and to speak, heart and throat work. So straight away, you're going to have an emotional reaction to that if you tune into it. And there's also things for you to speak about. Most mums are trying to tuck that under the rug, just trying to fix the scenario. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. You've got to, or, today will be a great day, or, we'll talk about it later. Just get in the car. I don't really have time for this because I know there's actually a bit of an elephant under the rug there. So that's the first thing, is to consider yourself, but then also to consider heart and throat for your child as well. So that's the mother and the child angle, allowing them to feel their valid feelings. They have valid reasons to feel stuff. And to really allow this stuff to really come up. And it may be in a big tantrum and on another day, it may be on the weekend, but knowing that that bubble of stuff is hanging there. So anytime they are emotional or grumpy, crappy behaviors, that is the emotion that's sitting under there, which can be often from the elephant under the rug, which is issues with school. And then also of course, allowing them to talk. Most of the time, our children won't talk about the actual issue. They may not even be actually that conscious. They're not going there because we are not an open, energetic door as a mother to say, please let me know exactly what's going on and let's actually be with this. They sense mum doesn't really want to know about this problem because it's too big and she's too busy, too stressed. Dad's got too much of a say. Grandparents are seeing me through uni already. That mum doesn't want to know about what's going on. So that is our work, to really work to coming into your heart, which brings up the inner work, which my whole work is about. You are it. You must be shifting your inner universe within you before you can expect big things to change in the external. So our children who refuse to go to school are actually saying, how do you feel about me not going to the school today, and with whatever issues are coming up? How do you feel about talking about this? How do you feel about going and speaking up for me? How do you feel about any of these issues that you went through in school when you were younger as well? How do you feel in having people, like, could be your partner, it could be your ex-partner, it could be, family, in-laws, well-meaning friends who think, oh no, but they should go to school, and you having to actually turn and face them while you hold the space for your child. There's plenty to be felt. There's also plenty to be talked about, particularly to your child, to show them that you are on their page. Too often, us mothers respond, with those, come on, let's get in the car, or I'm sure it'll be fine, or whatever. Oh, not this again. We're going against our child instead of coming over onto their page. And that means getting into your heart to really hear them, see them, and feel them about exactly what's coming up validly. There is a very good reason that they're responding like this. And if we try to just smooth it out too quick, too soon, you're not seeing the root of the weed that wants to be seen. And it will bring up all sorts of things. Talking to partners, it can bring up your school stuff. It can bring up your, like, what's my path? I never finished school and look what I've amounted to. It can bring up things like bullying. It can bring up, oh yeah, how I felt when I got forced to go to school camp, how I didn't like it when children used to even just pick on me a little bit. how I was so bored at school, all of the themes that your children are bringing to you. And this is the thing to work on. What is the theme that your child is having trouble with at school? That's the theme that you're supposed to be looking at. And I go on about in my courses and whatnot, we have a soul agreement. We've chosen specific themes to explore. Your child wants you to look at this theme with them, not just trying to fix the scenario on the external, but really working it through from yourself. So practically, let's look at it. The biggest thing that I used to use with my boys when we've had big school issues is multi-choice questions. What's the problem? What's giving you this reaction and not wanting to go to school? And I'd basically break it down. Is it the children? Is it the teacher? Or is it the school and the learning in itself? Is there something within that? Once we kind of honed in again, okay, the teacher, what's going on? And it really makes you question, as I start to say to families, have you asked your children all of this? And they say, oh no, I think they've got a problem with the teacher. Ask them. You must go and communicate to your children and honor that they have stuff to say. This is throat stuff, not just assuming. You really need to give them that chance to talk about what's going on daily. If you haven't, and then it's built up and they don't want to go to school, then that's where it's at. Often mums will say, oh, but I asked some questions about school and they go, oh, it was okay, and they don't give me much. This is them asking, Mum, really hone in on what do you want to know out of school and ask those specific questions. How is everything with your teacher? Do you have any troubles at any point with them? How are the kids? Are there any children that make you feel a little bit, unsure of yourself? Are there any children that you just resonate with? Like, really get in there and ask them lots of curious questions, because you want to know. You are the mother sending your child into the institution, jumped in with a whole lot of families, a whole lot of interesting different life themes, including your child taking theirs. But there's a lot to be learnt just around the child making sense of what am I doing out in the world with all these themes and all these shadows going on, as well as myself dealing with my own shadows. So be curious, be prepared, and just allow yourself to relax in asking these big questions to them, and really notice your monkey mind that's like, no, don't ask that question. Don't ask them about that. I don't really want to know about that. Notice where you already know that there might be elephants under the rug. And the reason in going there is bringing it out is it's always going to be there, and it's always basically relating back to you. So if there's something there that's an issue, the sooner you bring it out and the sooner you look at it, the sooner people bring up their emotions. It could get worse where your child's like, I really don't want to go, like, as this thing comes up. And that is the big process of inner work, hearts to heart parenting, and what I guide in my courses and mentorship. So be in touch if you go, yeah, actually I can feel this is a big thing, particularly if it actually was a big thing for yourself, from your childhood in school and or for the rest of your life as well. And of course I help mums work out what is the actual theme that you're working on here, to actually piece it apart. That is the divine order that wants to get seen. Our child brings this up to magnetically raise up the stuff within us. As we do our inner work, our child then starts to be able to go back out into the world, sometimes so much better. It's energetically set up that it was actually our inner work. When we've cleared our stuff, then our child can actually go out with not too many issues left. Sometimes it's really manifested onto them too. It's their life theme as well to play out in all its angles. And we're actually got to play it out as not only as, let's say me being picked on as a child at school, but oh no, now I've got to be the mother of a child being picked on at school as well. And that's, another angle basically to resurface our old stuff, to watch it playing out. So in saying that, that's, multi-choice questioning to get to the point and to allow them to talk, and to talk honestly about how do you feel. Just because you bring it up doesn't mean that they're going to, be able to come out of school if you're worried, oh, they're going to want to homeschool or come out and I don't have the capacity for that. That's not the point. The point is to be unpiecing the life themes that you're working through, open diary, feeling and talking about it. So as you do that, then the next bit is being honest, to look at yourself, to go, am I in the position to, take my child out? Has it gotten to that bad? You don't want to jump too quick. There's no way. you will know if you go, you know what, and generally it's when big feelings come up that you're just like, you know what, that's enough. It's time to take them out. Often it's the path that our children and us have to play out being in the system for a whole lot longer than we'd actually like, even if you would like to take them out. So it is in divine timing that things play out. All you can do is make peace, but work through each scene of every day. Every time it comes around, oh, here we've got an issue with school again, making sense of it yourself, holding space for your child. Here comes another one, and going. And I will be explaining, you know, there's energetic laws to this of what's going on and why in my book. Still writing it, it's coming out. So that's the point. And for me personally, you know, I could see the writing on the wall with my two boys in school years before divine timing allowed us to get them out. But it was a lot of like mind-blowing anger and whatnot that came up for me as the storylines got crazier in the school, and watching my children going through that and feeling with them, not trying to make it better, not trying to turn a blind eye, but actually just feeling the, you know, what we were going through together. And I say that because I really want to honor you as a mother, to know that you're still having an experience, especially emotionally and stressfully, as the mother of a child. It's not just your child that's having an issue in going to school. And that can just be, I'm stressed every day thinking about trying to get them into the car. I'm stressed knowing what to say when they say, I don't like this child, and they're giving me a hard time. And often it is feeling, you know, helplessness as a mum. Here I am sending my child into school and I don't know what's going to go on. I can't really control it and all of that. As I played that out myself, I started to realize, you know what, we're not perfect here at home either. And what my child is going through at school, even being picked on, I'm like, I said to my husband, we pick on our children. Let's not see it as the worst place and put ourselves up on a pedestal. No. Yes, there's, you know, there can be crap that goes on, but really looking at that to go, well, are we doing the best that we can at home with those themes as well? And even starting there. So that's the child, that's you. I want to talk about siblings next before we talk about partners. What I'm seeing the big pattern is one child is the whistleblower, the vocal person. I don't like school, I don't want to go. And they are breaking the ice and speaking up to bring the whole thing out, because it's actually one of the other kids, one of their siblings, that might even be having more of a trouble in going to school, may not be liking it, but has not learnt to speak up. Not, I shouldn't say learnt, it's just not within them. They haven't been, you know, set up that way through their experiences in their life to be the whistleblower. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you've got to do the work to look around to go, is everyone okay here at school? Am I just focusing my energy on the vocal one? And I'm saying that because my Decky was the vocal one. He really is going to be the activist, the whistleblower, all of that. Hayden was the one, more often the starry kids who were a bit like, oh, you know, I'm in this bad energy, but environment, but I don't know what to do. I haven't thought that I could speak up or that I could change my reality. I'm just suffering along with this. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to focus some energy here on you as well. And there's many children in that exact same boat that are really having a struggle with school. And it's not to say you need to pull them out, but it's also to say mother-child work, talking to them, curious questions about their school experience, pulling the elephant out from under the rug about theirs. So then you've got two or more to really be working through. And you do this in your own time and how it comes up. Sometimes it's like, I've spent a year going through shit here, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I can see issues coming out with this child. But getting used to that open conversation always, and your curious questions. When you get the right question, your child will answer you. If they do that, oh, I don't know, you've asked too general, or you're actually not giving off an energetic open door. I'm open to hearing your honest answers. If you're too busy, too much, I don't want to hear it, then they will just give you those types of answers. So what I'm saying is it's important to ask the siblings as well, because sometimes this child is actually just setting it up and it's actually another child that's got something, you know, going on. And it's amazing how our children, particularly those that have been more suppressed vocally and emotionally, heart and throat, will be suffering through stuff that you wouldn't have known about until you actually ask them. They're waiting for you to ask them. So don't be sitting in those what I call monkey mind nets of no, they're fine. Like, no, they never have any problems. They always say, oh, everything's okay, and give me like a one-word answer. It's actually to go in there to say you should be having an issue. No one goes into the school system with it all, rainbows and unicorns all day, every day. There is no way. You should have a problem with certain teachers because we're not for everyone. You should have problem with some kids that you're not for everyone. You should have problems with the curriculum, which part of the day grinds you, and actually just start talking about this and really, allowing it to come up. Then we will move on to the partners, ex-partners. The guys are coming with a certain let's say they're going to doubt us women when we start to talk about this, like, no, there's no problem. No, school is good. I had a good time. All of that, even if they bloody well didn't, and often they did not, but they are wanting to keep it the same. They're wanting to keep it down the line. I like, the thought of they go to uni and they get successful. That's all I want to handle right now, particularly because me and my family have always been about success as education and, that whole path. You're going to be the one that's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to insist on bringing this elephant out and we're going to talk about it. If everyone's got no problems with it, then that's great. But if everyone does have problems with it, well, then there's stuff to be seen and to work through. And you're insisting on stopping the suppressing and suppressing the feelings and gagging that's been going on for too long. Even if your child seems to be having a great time at school, there's still stuff that they can be talking through and noticing, because it's going to be important, especially as we make it conscious to them, for when they go down the track to go, yeah, that thing that, I didn't stand for, or whatever it was. So with your partner or ex-partner, yes, it's a big opportunity to stand, to stay strong, to sit in your energy, even though you might go, yeah, this is bullshit, around the school. Part of you might also be sitting on, oh, I wish they'd just go to school happily, because I feel better when I know they're going to school and they're going to go to uni and they're going to get success, whatever it is. Or I just feel glad when they go to school because then dad's not worrying and I don't have to stand up. And yes, for my path, I've had to be shaking in my voice, shaking my legs to stand up and to say to my partner, there are problems here. We have to look at this. We have to do something. That is the part for us to be doing our inner work on, and it's big work. So I want to honor you if you have been doing it, or honor you if you're even considering looking at this, big theme that's going on. I was going to say one more thing. Now I'm just trying to remember what it is. There's many angles around dealing with school, talking to teachers. Should I let my child, many things. Please get in touch if you have more questions. I will do more videos. As I've said to one mum who was brilliant in, suggesting I talk more about the school system, it's involved. There's so many angles, and I could talk all day just on the bullying one. I could talk all day just on tuck shop, or sensitive children, or gifted children, ASD, anything. I could talk all day on it because I've gone through pretty much every last thing myself. But that's, so many cans of worms. And so the biggest thing is it's coming back to what I've been talking about, heart and throat for mother and child, heart to heart parenting. If you are not on your child's page and you are not feeling with them, they will sense you and they will keep on bringing this shit up until you feel it and you see what needs to be seen within you. Know that on your soul agreement, like scroll, at some point you said, yep, I'll be a mum of a child who has an issue with the school system, so I can start looking at this and feeling for it and taking a stand, even if that's just, speaking up within your family. That's massive. It doesn't have to be, like me, like I'm going to take a stand, I'm going to go and create videos, write books and all sorts of things. But the point is, even anger creates passion, it creates drive. Clearing this out of our vessel gives you more clarity, it gives you more heart. It will stop you from being ranty and big out there and that chargy stuff in taking action, as opposed to, we are calm, we know where we're going, I am powerful, I have spoken, I have felt, I'm in my heart, I can see very clearly what my children do and don't need, and I know exactly the point in time when they need that. And that is all the inner work, which is, big processes that I teach as well. So if you would like, I've got down below a donation link to buy me even a coffee. I'm putting this out there, basically raising money for me to publish my book. And then on top of that, I have book 2 and 3 pretty much, partly done, ready to go. So it's going to be an ongoing process for me to get them out there. But otherwise, thank you. Do share this, particularly to anyone that you know that has a child that is struggling, or any mum that doesn't love the idea that their children are in school. You are a sitting duck, that there will be issues that come up because you're good for it. You're good to be looking at this stuff. So your children are going to bring that stuff up. They are going to be going through it, whether they like it or not, for you to see. So do share this around. It's really important. And it's really important for us to remember, it's not just tidying up work when our child says, I don't want to go to school today, or throws a sickie. It's that point of, are you going to do that inner work and the getting to the heart of the matter for your child as well, which, yeah, takes courage. I honor you. Do subscribe if you haven't, though. I've got plenty more videos if you haven't seen, playlists of them, so please do go and have a look. Bye.